We had technical difficulties, so we're trying it again. All right. So come on through. My man, Loud America, that's our guest next week, actually. He just started a live one. All right. Let's try this again. Hello, hello. Marquee Music. What's up, Diddy? We're going to start again. I hope y'all, we had to start over. We had technical difficulties, so there we go. We had to start over. I think we back up now. Thank you for coming back, if you were with us earlier. Let's just go right into it. Normally we go through the pages. Normally, what's up? That's my sister there. We go through the pages of 420 God's Bible. Actually, we're on day 19. Excuse my typo. We are on day 19 right now. And we're going to just break that down real quick. I had somebody else. Every period has an age. They is vague. Today is recorded. I am peace. Listen. Filler. Fill errors different. Constant millennia. Form cells inward. Taking diligent recordings. Shh. B. Now, let me break that down a little, if we can. So, time's up. All empires fall. Monarchies, nation states, ways of life, fashions, the Harlem Renaissance, the 80s, 90s rap, etc., etc. The only constant is change. Every period has an age. That's it. 4 to 7 days for some people. Now we talked on previous shows about the they and the them and those who are not like us. Don't let the chatter of others, the they, dissuade you. Last week I had a conversation with Mother, and we talked about hate and how it's an ungodly attribute. She said, what about the people that hate you? They're not worthy of my love. I told her, wherever they are that hate you, they are not worthy of that hate. They hate you for a reason. They are not worthy of your light. So they is vague, and they are people that a lot of times we worry about. They said this, they said that. Who are they? They is vague. Today is recorded. Everything has been recorded and checked and recorded. Everything that's going on right now has been recorded, and everything, all of our actions before have been recorded, whether we know it or not. They're here forever. When I was young, they had there was this pamphlet. It was about the size of this, and it had all of these different, it was like a religious pamphlet, and it had these different messages. And I remember they had one of them, they had a picture of a person with God, and God was showing you your life on a screen before you, all the stuff that you did, and he was basically telling you, you know, this is you, you're good and you're bad. So everything has been recorded, especially at this time that we in. You know, everybody got a phone, everything is, there's cameras everywhere. So all these things have been recorded. Your life is recorded. Who was God? Jesus. You are God. Psalms 82:6 says that all God's children, children of the Most High God. And then you make that happen. So all of your life was recorded. I'm at peace. Listen. There goes the Psalm 46:10. Shh, be still. It's a mantra. Listen. Last week I was on the show with Kurloza Yoga, and we spoke about this as well. Feel errors different. That's about personal responsibility. All right. Self-love, seeing yourself as God sees you. Take that responsibility and understand that you are the control of your destiny. Everything good and bad starts with you. Take accountability. We spoke about that as well last week. If you got a chance to go back on my feed, check out the interview I did with Kurloza Yoga, and we talked about a lot of these things. We spoke about how hate can trigger your body, your soul, and your energy to burn if you're not at peace. If you're not able to change, you yourself will burn. The energy that hate needs to live is unbearable. What she said was that, let me go back. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Constant millennia formed cells inward, taking diligent recordings. Now, your cells and your body and your actions have been evolving through time. Your parents and your parents' parents and your parents' parents have put a code inside of you. And it's up to you to change that code or stay on that code's path. What we saw this last week and what we're about to see coming up was these people who for millennia have been told that they can do what they want and take what they want. And that period has an age. That age is over. And they're learning that the hard way. But there might not be enough time for them to get it right. Shh. Be. Do you. Don't worry. God got you. That goes back to Psalms 46:10 as well. Shh. Be still. But also just be. All right. Now, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. It kind of threw me off a little bit. So excuse me for the...
I can't hear you. Maybe I need to turn this.
All right. Can we hear each other now? No. No, I can't hear you.
How about now?
Okay. I can hear you now.
Okay. I don't know. I've been having so many difficulties this morning. This has been... I don't know, man. It's one of them days. But anyway, good morning.
It's okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good God bless morning.
God bless you as well. Okay, so I had that first part was supposed to go a little smoother, but it's all good. Let's just start out with you, okay?
Okay.
Let's start with
Good
your
morning,
name.
my sisters. I got some sisters on here.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Tell them, let them know what's up. Good morning,
Good
everyone
morning,
that joined
sis.
us.
Well, my name is
What's your
Anita
name and where you
Doreen.
from? I'm sorry.
I'm Anita Doreen, and I am originally from Orlando, Florida. I am located currently in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the good old US of A.
All right now. All right. So let's talk about your spirituality background, your journey, how it started, and the path
Okay.
you're on now. How did you get to that?
All right. I was raised Baptist in a Baptist church many years ago. Like many people, many Black people, you grow up and you go to church with mom, grandma, and you get baptized, and you have no idea what you're doing. And, that was your life
Mm-hmm.
until I got into the world myself and I saw things differently.
Mm-hmm.
Like it may not have been the way that we were taught. Um, so I went on a journey for myself. 10 years, well, almost 12 years ago now, my life turned into a complete mess. When God calls you, um, you have to either answer that call or your life is going to get really, really difficult because he's going to call you to the table and it's time to show up and show out or be left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for 2 years, I fought it. And then I was like, okay, I'm surrendering. He took everything away from me. Like when you go through your Job experience, and I know this is what we're supposed to talk about, but hey,
No, this
it's
is what we're
calling
supposed to
for
talk
it.
about. That's what the listen
um,
was about. That's what that listen was about on that page. Listen, and
yeah,
that's what it was about. So I want to hear that.
yeah. So when you get that call and you don't listen, God give you the Holy Spirit to give you a warning, give you a fair warning, and it's up to you whether or not you listen or you fight against the prick. You can kick against it if you want to, but it's gonna happen. So what my experience was is um, I have dreams. I'm a dreamer, and I get visions. So this particular time, a dream came to me. I need to study Job. Now I didn't understand why I needed to study Job because I was living fine. I
Mm.
was happy. I was making 60,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
What I need to worry about that for?
Mm-hmm.
Within a year, I lost everything. When I take everything, I couldn't even keep my phone on. My phone was about to be disconnected. God was saying, I'm shifting you from what you used to be into what I need you to be.
Mm-hmm.
So my journey as a Christian, as a believer, started 10 years ago. Really
Mm-hmm.
started 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I took up the mantle and I said, I'm gonna walk this out no matter what. Whatever comes my way, I'm walking it out. And through this journey, I've discovered self,
Mm-hmm.
true self, who I am in God,
Mm-hmm.
and what I am supposed to bring to the world to help
Mm-hmm.
other people, guide them to their directions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the start of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I also noticed is that during this time, he or she, I'm not saying God is a he or female, God is what God is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, during this journey, it was a lot of peeling back and removing of what was put on me by society. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to unlearn, and now I'm relearning a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things. And specifically with this journey with cannabis. So we've all been told it was a bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
correct? It's
Mm-hmm.
bad. It's
Mm-hmm.
illegal. You can't do it because you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
go to hell because they call it the devil lettuce, right?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Hell and jail.
yeah, hell and jail. It's the devil lettuce, and I'm sitting here like, but how? How is it that something so amazing that God has created that it can give you shelter, it can give you clothing, it can heal your body, and I don't care what nobody else say, it can provide food for you and help with you mentally. How can all of these things be in one plant and it's not from God?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I'm
and that-
sorry.
and that's a great point because nowhere in the Bible does it say anything about not smoking cannabis. It
No.
actually says in Genesis 1:29, I have given you every green herb on this
Mm-hmm.
earth for food. It should be yours for food.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you shall eat. Every green herb. So
Everything.
That's in the very beginning. In the very beginning, Genesis 1. Um, your endocannabinoid system, which was made by God, if you believe in a God,
Mm-hmm.
is has receptors that directly coincide with the plant, and they're different medicines and different cannabinoids that you can use that talk to different parts of your body when you have different ailments. So it is a medicine.
Yes.
I've seen children with seizures stop having. I mean, it's not even a discussion whether it's a medicine or not. What's happened is that there's been prohibition, and we're coming out of a prohibition of it. So there is an awakening
Yes.
that's
Most
going
definitely.
on. There was something that you said earlier about um, the path that you were on when you were what was said to you? Can you tell me that? Or
That's,
what did you ignore? Is it, if it's personal, you don't have to tell me.
no, no, that's fine.
But what did you ignore? Like, what were you fighting? What did you ignore? Like, nah, I'm not gonna do that now.
I because of how Christianity was viewed by society, I didn't want to be a part of that fight. So I
Mm-hmm.
was ignoring it. I'm like, I don't want to be, because I see how, society, fights with, Christians. They don't believe it. They we crazy. All these stigmas that we had as Christians,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be a part of that. But
Mm-hmm.
I had to be, because, there was something in me that needed to be shared with people who I needed to reach.
Mm-hmm.
And I was running out of time with reaching them, so I needed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that it wasn't one specific thing that was said,
Mm-hmm.
but it was more of, I got visions of read Job. I didn't even, this is how bad it was. I didn't even know it was called Job. I thought it was Job. That's how bad it was. I'm so
I'm about to
honest.
go read jobs.
What are read Jobs? What is this? So that's how far removed I had gotten from my
But
upbringing, and
right,
really
right.
where I was supposed to have been in my journey in life. So I was just like, oh, okay. So once I did read it and understood where I was going to go in my life in the next few years, um, I was very grateful that the Holy Spirit allowed me to see into what was about to happen, so I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't fall apart mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if you look at what Job had went through,
Mm-hmm.
any average person will have fell apart mentally.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So
know
I
what's the
would,
trip about that is that the part of, I think the part of the awakening that happened for me and everybody I know, is that you lose everything before you find yourself, and that's what you have. What you realize is that none of this stuff matters, right?
it don't
None
matter.
of these material things that all make a difference. What matters is your soul and your presence and who you are and what you live by.
All
But the
right.
things that you collect mean nothing. They can be gone in a fire or a flood or a bankruptcy or anything or a hardship. But when you are reborn, you don't need anything. You came in here naked, right?
Right.
We
And you're
don't
going to
come
leave
in here
that way
alone.
too.
Exactly. So you don't need any of the things that you didn't come in here with.
No, you don't.
All those things
Uh,
you collected.
what the most significant part, I'm answering this question right quick, if you don't mind.
I don't know.
The most significant part about Job that moved me is the fact that he, as a man of God, sustained, and he stayed in his truth. He stayed in his faith, no matter what came to him. And that's what I was learning, is like, I'm going to have to stand with God no matter
Mm-hmm.
what came to me, that I knew that holding on to God was going to bring me through,
Mm-hmm.
no matter
No
what
matter
I
what you
experienced,
lost, right, right,
you
because
know,
you're getting tested to see if these things mean more to you, right?
than he did.
And
So
and
that's what I
are you going
really
to curse him,
learned.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I learned. Um, the most significant part of learning, and that once I learned that, I hold on to that to this day. No matter what I experience, I okay. What does God say? What does God say? You know, he was like, how are you surviving all this, the COVID 2020? How are you surviving this? I said, what did God say? I'm gonna come through. So therefore, I believe His word, and I call Him on His word.
It is. All
and
right.
that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, amen.
I'll go in. It's Sunday. I'll go in.
It's all good. That's what this is. This is the fellowship is about. And I mean, I want to collect my whole mission is to collect as many different stories because everybody has a different path to God. And none is right? They're all right.
Yeah.
You on the path, that's what's right. You one with God, that's what's right. How you got there is your path. But
Right.
no one can tell you that it's wrong if you walking in the light. So and I
No.
want to collect all the light I can. So I appreciate you bringing your light with us.
I love that. I
Um,
love that. I
thank
love
you.
that.
So let's go now with when did you first try ganja and when did you evolve into Iamganjamama?
Woo! I am Ganjamama. Okay, that's where I start. So I'm going to tell you my whole thing. We're going to be real, right?
Yes, please do.
All right. Good. Good. Um, my first experience with ganja or cannabis um, was about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I had a major surgery, and during that surgery, of course, they give you medications for pain. Um, they gave me morphine. I was fine with the morphine. Then they gave me the opiates, opio, what I can't even remember the name of because I threw it away. But it was an opiate,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a severe reaction to it,
Mm-hmm.
where my vital organs started to shut down.
Mm. All of them?
Yes, the only thing that didn't stop was my heart.
Wow.
My intestines shut down. They weren't moving anymore. My kidneys functions start to shut down. I do still have some problems with one of my kidneys, but eventually I know it will heal itself. I'm not worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
I do have some issues with my heart right now, but I'm not really worried about it. The
Mm-hmm.
doctor said over time it will eventually heal itself. But those things started happening to me with one time taking an opiate.
Mm-hmm.
Just one time taking it.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up in the hospital for 4 weeks, and during that time, they couldn't give me any pain medication
Mm-hmm.
because they had to get my systems restarted. And then you're suffering in a place where, look, I was cut open, so
Mm-hmm.
that level of pain was insane. So I have a friend who came to the hospital to visit, and of course I couldn't eat anything, so she did some acupuncture for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then she told me, after you get out of the hospital, try this. And I had tried, I didn't try cannabis, but I always promoted cannabis with my clients because I'm a massage therapist by
Mm-hmm.
trade. But I always tell my clients, yeah, use cannabis creams and all of that stuff to help you with your pain.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't click for me that I can actually use it for my pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So when I got out the hospital and got home, my sons, I have 3 sons. They was like, Mom, here, try this natural for pain. And I was like, okay, wasn't supposed to be smoking, but I smoked. And when I tell you, within 15 minutes, I felt no pain.
Mm-hmm.
No pain. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. If I can do this in 15 minutes after having a major surgery and feel no pain, and I'm not addicted to it, I'm still lucid. I still can think. I still can function as a normal human being, but I
Mm-hmm.
have no pain. I
Mm-hmm.
need to study what this is. So,
Mm-hmm.
speaking to my mom and my dad, this is going to make you really laugh. Just speaking to mom and dad, we have been consuming cannabis all my life, and I didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like oregano on the kitchen cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
They always used it. So I never knew that I was consuming cannabis the entire time. I was just like, so I called my mom and I was like, Mom, this really works. She said, yeah, baby, I know it worked. And I was like, well, why are you so calm? I'm telling you I'm smoking. I'm getting high. She's like, I know it worked. Yes. So it's always been in our family.
Mm-hmm.
But I had gotten away from it,
Mm-hmm.
because you get grown, you think
Society.
you know everything.
Right. Right.
And once she told me that, and I talked to my father, who is a lifelong cannabis user, like
Mm-hmm.
he is in his 70s right now. He started when he was 14,
Mm-hmm.
so lifelong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he was like, "Well, baby, I've been
Is your
telling you, ain't it
father a
what?"
productive member of society?
Yes, he is very productive. He has
Okay.
no issues, no health problems at all.
Is he a, hippie or like a surfer?
No,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you know.
mm-mm, no. He he's just like any of us, just regular. Now he does have, he's very opinionated about the society, but you know what
That's
black man you
fine.
don't know.
Yes, please believe it. I got many opinions.
So he
Okay,
so my family, that we've always been
it's always been a
cannabis
part of your
users.
family. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a part of my family, but the way I found that was best for me is through food, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at smoking.
Mm-hmm.
um I haven't mastered that at all. So
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to take it through food.
Okay, and that's okay.
um
So now, oh, wait, I'm sorry. What were you about to say?
no, go ahead. You
No, because I was going to ask you, because you did. I know you had the surgery 2 years ago, and then I had that written down here that you only eat it. Have you ever tried anything else, any other ways like dabbing or anything?
No.
Um, so mainly you ingest it through with eating.
Yeah, and it goes back to, like I said, I was raised on it
Mm-hmm.
through eating.
Right,
So
right,
I'm like, let
already.
me go back to what I was doing when I was a child,
Right.
because that's what my body is used to.
Okay.
So
So
I
then,
was like,
okay, that's
yeah.
cool. And then how did you evolve into Iamganjamama, which is that the cooking part, the chef part?
Yes, that's the chef part.
Okay.
I
So
am
now how did
Ganjamama.
how did that how did that come about? Because and while we talk about that, I'm gonna put up some of these delectable.
Some of
You
my
know what?
food.
Yeah, let's talk about it first. Then we're gonna put some dishes up a little bit later.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so during COVID, as a massage therapist, I had to shut down. I couldn't massage people anymore because they shut everybody in the country down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was with my sons, and I knew that I wanted to get I had to get my medicine. I call it my medicine. So
Mm-hmm.
I had my son go, and I say, look, I need you to find me some ganja.
Mm-hmm.
And he went home. He went and he got some, and he's like, well, what you gonna do with it, Mom? You gonna smoke? I said, no, I don't smoke. I actually cooked with it. And he's like, wait, Mama, you cooking the ganja? So that's how the name Ganja Mom came about. He's like, you cooking Ganja Mom? That's
Okay.
the name.
There it is.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And so all right. So now how long? So for now, how long have you been a chef or doing? How long have you been a chef with the infused process?
I've been doing it a little bit more here recently because
Okay.
I found that people they have an interest in it, a different
Mm-hmm.
form of ingesting. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been doing it a lot more recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's been in the family, but we didn't come out with it. It was always
Right.
something that was secret because being a Christian, that was something that was taboo. So we
Mm-hmm.
kept it under lock and key. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
So that's
yes,
why. Oh, so your family as well had to kind of keep it hidden
right,
in the society that you guys grew up. And that was in Orlando, right? You said.
right.
Okay, yeah. So that's I guess Southern Baptist,
That's
very
Southern
Southern Baptist.
Baptist, the
Yeah,
Bible
yeah,
Belt.
yeah. I know, and I mean most of the stuff, even Northern Baptists, people and that's another part of this mission is that people who have tried to separate God from people who use cannabis, and I wanted to connect those two things in a very spiritual way because for me in particular, and a lot of people, everybody I know, there is a spiritual part that goes along uh with ganja. Rastafarians
Uh-huh.
have sacraments. We talked last week. I had a guest on from India, and that entire part of the world uses ganja for religious and holy reasons.
Right.
And then there's the medicinal part, and then there's the other part. So all of these different uses that we've been using or had to use it for have been and really what has happened, what I'm trying to put together, there's been a conspiracy that I've seen, right? I don't have it together, but I'm putting it together, right? So when I talked to Hemp Vadi last week, in India in 1895, they did a study on people and why they smoke. Different people in society. They did porters, the people who carry luggage. They did the doctors, and they did the spiritual people. All of them gave different reasons that they used it for. Right. 10 years later, there was the Indian Hemp Commission that banned. They wanted to get everybody on alcohol. They ended up banning cannabis, and they got everybody on alcohol and petroleum-based pharmaceutical drugs. Right. So that was the conspiracy. 30 years later, Rockefeller did the same thing here in America. Um, with the reefer madness and but Rockefeller, I saw a film before, a clip of a film where he pretty much changed plant-based healing, which had been in America since America was founded, to demonizing cannabis especially, and making petroleum-based drugs the new norm, and petroleum-based
Right.
teaching the new norm. And there's a history of America copying England's blueprint 30
Right.
years later. You know, with the Industrial Revolution, it happened the same way. They had theirs 30 years before we had ours, because we are their colony, if we like to believe it or not.
Right.
But that's the conspiracy I'm working on in my mind.
I can get with that. Yes, I can definitely get with that.
Yeah. So so let's talk about some of these dishes that you do create.
Yes.
You know what? I had somebody told me that I should have had asked you to send something before we had the interview, and I told him I'm a one-man team, dude. It's hard to do all this, and remember to ask for samples. So, but let's
I
talk about
definitely
it.
could have sent you something.
Well,
I could have did that for you.
we can still I can do a review,
Yes, I could have
a
did
box
that.
open. All right. So what's this one right here? What you call that one?
Actually, it was one of the recipes that my mom was like, hey, I was like, Mommy, what is this recipe? I don't remember what it's called. So I still don't know what it's called. She said, girl, I don't know. I just put it together for snacks when y'all got home from after school.
Now that's like some chocolate and
It's chocolate, crackers, and pecans.
mm,
So I mix that with the can of butter, because I do make can of butter, olive oil, coconut oil. I do a lot of infusions for my foods, and I also
okay.
use the real flour also when I cook. So, but that's what that is. So it's really a snack, and it tastes kind of like candy. It's a healthy candy.
Okay. Looks delicious, and I'm a candy guy.
Okay,
Those are like those are samosas, right?
those are samosas. We did that for Kwanzaa. So we
Mm-hmm.
had an event for Kwanzaa. Actually, I did it online really quickly. We did it
Okay.
a Kwanzaa live.
Mm-hmm.
So I cooked 3 dishes live on Instagram for Kwanzaa.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And all these are infused, right?
Yes, everything is infused.
So is the sauce infused, or the I guess you use the olive oil for the bread.
The olive oil was for the bread, and then the chutney sauce was infused.
Okay. Mm-mm. There's another question. What's the purpose of putting it in the food all the time? What is it supposed to do? It's medicinal.
It's medicinal for me, because I'm not a smoker, so I want to get my flour in a different way, and I get it through infusion of my foods. So I do small microdosing, where I can eat it throughout the day, where I'm not overdosing. And I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you could necessarily
Not
overdose with
overdosing, but
cannabis,
right. You
but
can't. You can't. You'll take a nap
yeah, I just
and you
sleep a
might
long
have a
time.
headache.
But
But yeah, but her method for putting it in food is because she doesn't smoke. Um,
yeah, I'm not a smoker. And
yeah.
of course, I just finished say that Mommies and Mary Jane, I love them. That's a group that I'm a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Mommies that smoke cannabis,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna have an event, a cooking
Tuesday.
event
We coming
Tuesday.
to that. We're gonna get to that. I'm
Okay,
talking
we'll
about
get to that.
nutrition.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
But yeah, digesting is the best way to get it in.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, smoking for one, and I know a lot of people love to smoke, and I have nothing against people who want to smoke. You can smoke all you want to, smoke until your life is content. I promise you. But smoking, you lose a lot of the properties
Mm-hmm.
because you're burning it, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And when you infuse it, you're using the essence of the flower in another oil, and you're not cooking at a high temperature.
The combustibility rate is not the same.
Right.
I
It's not
got you.
the same. So when you cook, they say when you get the edible brownies,
Mm-hmm.
you get edible brownie. They say you get a different level of high and it lasts a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you that's why.
Right,
Because
because of
you got everything of that plant in that brownie.
got you.
So
What's
that's
that
why I
one
do,
right there? I'm sorry. Go
huh?
ahead. What was you about to say? And that's why what?
And that's why I do small microdosing in my
Got you.
food throughout the day.
Got you. Instead of, and then and I'm sure you've tested your system enough to know what you need at that
What
moment.
I need.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, and I
Um.
don't do edibles like when you buy them out the store or anything like that. I don't do that because
Mhm.
I don't really know their process
Mhm.
and how they put it together.
Right.
I,
And you
I
know what you're
prefer to
going
do it
to.
myself in the
I
kitchen. I
got
honestly believe everybody needs to have cannabis right next to oregano.
you.
You put
Mhm.
it in your kitchen, learn how to cook with it for yourself and your family.
Mhm. Okay.
So
Oh,
you're
that's right.
like, wait a minute.
All right now. Oh no, what's that one? What's this one up here? That one looks delicious too. That's the I
That was
forgot what it was.
the peach bread pudding.
Okay, peach bread pudding. What about your
Yeah.
vegan dishes? You got any vegan dishes? I'm vegan.
Yes, I do make vegan. As a matter of fact, they further down on the list. So I did make a
Okay.
vegan pizza. I
Okay.
made a vegan lasagna.
Mm.
That was really good. Yeah,
Okay.
it was really, really, really
All
good.
right.
So yes, I do make vegan dishes.
Okay. Damn, I messed all my things up. And now, what's this one? That's some potatoes, scallop potatoes, I think. Can you tell? I don't know.
I
I think
can't
that's
even
the
tell.
scallop potato. All right. This one,
Now
I
you
think
already
I
know
can.
what that was.
That's the turkey, right?
That was either the steak or the turkey
I think
that
that's the
I
turkey,
infused.
fried turkey. Okay. What else we got? Okay, that's cool. So now let's talk about that event you're talking about on Tuesday. You guys have something coming up with the mommies and Mary Jane.
Mommy's and Mary Jane.
Now, what is that event? That is the da, 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 da. Tell me what it's called, please.
Soulfully elevated.
Soulfully elevated or integrated?
Elevated. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
soulfully. I wrote it down wrong. Soulfully elevated. Soulfully
Soulfully elevated.
elevated. So let's talk about that. What is that? It'll be about.
Well, three amazing chefs, two others along with myself. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to be cooking Southern dishes. We know how in the Black community that during the new year, we always have some type of tradition to bring us luck and wealth and fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll cook black eyed peas, some
Mm-hmm.
collard greens, some cornbread, some
Mm-hmm.
ribs, something that say bring us high and fall again.
I did. It fell. Go ahead. I'm listening.
It'll bring us fortune. So what
Uh
we're
huh.
bringing that to how we integrate those things with cannabis um, into the new year. So
So
got one.
what's on the menu for that day? Or is it
I got you.
everybody's cooking different things?
Yes, everybody's gonna
Okay.
cook something different. We got Chef Steph. She's gonna be cooking some ribs
Mm-hmm.
with some infused sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have okay, I forgot the other chef, but it's another chef.
Mm-hmm. Her name. They
I
are
forgot,
all these
I
are women
forgot her name
chefs?
already. She's gonna be doing some black eyed peas,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will be doing the collard greens and cornbread. But
Okay.
the way I'll be cooking them is pan fried, so that's a different take on it. So you don't cook out the cannabis flour, so
So you
you
cooking
got to keep your concentration.
wait, so the collard greens are pan fried?
Hmm.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to learn. I'm gonna have to learn how to cook a little better. I don't have no now. So how do you make your when you make your oils and your butters? What do you do to make them? How do you make those?
um, I have different ways of making it. Depends on how much I make. But if I'm making it just for the family, I measure it out according to the dose that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my normal dose, and everybody's different. So if you hear how I do it, it may not work for you. So
Mm-hmm.
just be mindful of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take about 7.5 to 8 milligrams, or sorry, grams of flour.
Mm-hmm.
I'll clean my flour. That's a whole nother process.
Mm-hmm.
decarb my flour, and after decarbonation of my flour, I take that and I combine it either in my leave-a-low machine or
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it in the crock pot method.
Okay.
So that's the butter, and I do both of them pretty much the same, but the temperature in which I infuse is at different temperatures. They're not both at the same temperature.
For the different oils or butters, you have to use
Mm-hmm.
different temperatures. Okay.
Yes.
And then different recipes, I guess, call for different
Well,
oil,
I
butter, or.
use, yeah, like for instance, if you're baking a cake
Mm-hmm.
or like cooking a brownies, whatever oil amount that you use, you got to be mindful that you've infused it, the butter. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, you don't make, if you can take all of the butter, use all your
Mm-hmm.
butter, but you may want to cut half the infused butter with non-infused butter until
Gotcha.
you know how it makes you feel. So
Gotcha.
now I'm at a point where I could just throw the whole thing of butter in. It doesn't affect me.
How long you been a chef? So you now you said you like massage therapy is your trade. So as a chef, you I mean I guess I'm sure you've been cooking for your family and everything
Right.
forever, but you
Yeah.
started with the do you have your so are your products available? Do you go to events? You do catering? How do you get your
No,
products
I
to people?
don't do catering.
Okay.
I provide. This is the sweet thing. If you in Charlotte, you can come to my spa and you can experience the cannabis cooking, because I
Mm-hmm.
only provide it for my clients because I want to make sure I educate them
Mm-hmm.
and help them along their journey. I don't want to just like, okay, here, this is y'all just eating it for an experience. I really want to make sure that people understand what this plant can do for them
Mm-hmm.
and all the benefits. And I don't want it to be something that's a fad. I don't want it to be something that is just, okay, I'm going to try this and it's just fun. For me, it's so much more than just a fad. It's a way
Gotcha.
of life. So therefore, I don't want you to be like, okay, I done had me this cannabis experience and I'm going about my way. I want you to be educated. I want you to have the knowledge. I want you to know what would be good work for you in your pain, your discomfort, whatever
Mm-hmm.
mental health issues you're going for or going
Mm-hmm.
through, how it can help you. So I prefer to educate people. So
Okay.
at my spa, I provide it at my spa. So
And I wanted to talk about that as well. Is Zamaria the name of the
Zamaria.
store? Zamaria. Okay. So tell me about Zamaria. How long have you been how long has that been open and functioning and then when did you get into the I guess 2 years ago is when you started with the cannabis part of Zamaria. But before that, how long has Zamaria been functioning?
I've been a massage therapist for 8 years now.
Okay.
Uh, Remember what I was telling you about that Job
Right.
experience?
Right. Right.
That
Right.
happened.
That's what
That's what God said.
got you.
That's what I want you to do. I'm like,
Got you.
okay.
Okay.
So,
And then
uh,
and since then, you just been on this path.
yes, on this path, and not want it or anything. Just, it's been amazing. I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Everybody's in pain.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so the spa now, what do you offer at your spa? What kind of treatments do you offer there? Is it like you know how they have I'm not a spa expert, but I know they have like spas that are hair spas, nail spas,
It's a
massage
massage
spas.
therapy,
Okay.
um, where we do body work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times where people come in with chronic pain and they can't, the doctors put them on pain pills, pain
Mm-hmm.
medication to resolve their pain. If somebody's had a surgery or getting ready to go into a surgery and they
Mm-hmm.
want another option, they come
Mm-hmm.
see me at the spa or my team at the spa for help. So I
Mm-hmm.
deal with a lot of people with chronic pain. So that's how
Okay.
I combine, what I do at the spa with the cannabis flower.
Do you have any kind of prenatal? Do you do
Yes,
any
I do.
prenatal
Mhm.
massages? You
Yes, I
do?
do. Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna send my wife down there.
You gonna send her all the way down here?
Yeah, I'm gonna send her down there.
And we're gonna take good care of her. So yes,
I'm gonna
that's
drive her
how I
down there
combine it.
myself, so she can get a nice where did the name come from?
My son named it.
Okay.
I asked him a question.
I'm not going.
I'm not going. Come on, I got you. My son named it, I asked him a question. I said, when you see me outside of being your mother, who do you see? And he came up with a description. He's like, you are a woman who doesn't march to the beat of anybody else's drum. You go with life through what you see as what your outcome of your life, what you want it to be. You push against the, what everybody else tells you to do, and you do what you feel that is right. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, I said, well, what would that name be? And he's like, you're so smooth, you roll off people's tongues easily. So that's how we came up with Zamaria.
Okay.
I was like, oh, so I really like that. So that's how I came up with the name. It wasn't nothing magical.
That is magical though. That's very magical. That was your son. That was a nice. That was very magical the way I see it. That was a good story. I like that. It's a beautiful name. And now you got your business, and now you moving on, and now you've healed yourself. Oh, what happened? Okay, you've healed yourself.
Right.
We've had. You're the third guest that we've had on. Like I said, the lady we had on last week, Himvadi, she almost died. She had tuberculosis.
Wow.
And she almost died, and she had the same stigmas as well growing up in India. And she went to a friend who gave her something, and she was able to sleep all night. And then she educated herself, found out that she had been lied to, and she's healed now.
Yeah.
We had another guest on, Loopy, who had and still has lupus gold, but she almost died from prescribed medicines, opioids. She almost died from opioids and cannabinoids. They have a podcast as well called the 520 Aftermath Podcast. They talk about it a lot. But she almost died. Her husband said he was watching her die from these opioids.
Wow.
And he got her to try cannabis. And there's a doctor right there, Droga. She's an actual doctor. We're going to have her on very soon. We're actually about to end the episode, Droga, but we're going to have her on very soon, and we'll definitely have her explain from a doctor's standpoint the medicinal properties from what's been studied in universities or in higher learning. We'll have her on as well pretty soon.
Definitely would love to connect with her, because that's what I loved about this medicine, how the professions are getting together and seeing that there is definitely a benefit for cannabis in people's lives. I literally just started studying everything in the last year. That's all I do. I don't even watch TV. I'm reading and educating myself to know what this actually does, because what it did for me, it kept me from dying. And I have no problems. I have no pain, nothing. And I go.
That's your testimony and your testament. And God has not forsaken you or told you that you're doing anything wrong yet.
No, he's blessing me beyond measure.
Wow, how about that?
He is blessing me beyond measure. And I'm just like, wow. When I stepped out on faith this past year, Mommy's and Mary Jane, Miss Jocelyn, she reached out to me and she was like, could you be a part of an event? And I was like, okay. And you know how your mouth moves before your brain connects with it? That's what happened. And I was like, okay, I'm about to come out as a Christian at smoking cannabis. And everybody that I know me is going to know this part of my life. It's been skyrocketing ever since.
And that go back to truth, right? Because you just talk, the truth shall set you free.
Yes, living in your truth. And I was like, oh, wow. So it's really been skyrocketing for me. And I'm so humbled, and I'm so grateful that everybody whose brought me on to hear my story, hear my testimony. I'm so humble and grateful to it, because I was afraid. And, God's like, no, don't be afraid, because I got you. I'm like, okay. So even with you, it's just like, you reached out to me. I was like, oh, all right. You go another one.
Indeed. And that's, it's a wonderful thing, because we all need to know ain't nothing wrong with us.
No, nothing.
No matter what they try to tell you. And actually we have a different take on life. And then when people catch up, then they'll understand what we didn't understand when we felt the same way that they did.
Yes.
I was the same way at one point. I
Yeah.
looked at people, what's wrong with you? And then you learn.
You learn and you do better.
You had we're gonna end this soon, but I saw that you had a book, right? You were on a different podcast and you had this book with
Oh.
all these different strains in it, right? Oh, matter
Oh
of fact, let's
yes.
do that
Yes.
real quick.
Let me
Let's
grab that for you.
go ahead, grab it, because
Okay.
I want to do this, and I want to do this word association with you. We can do that before we end it.
Okay.
Um.
This is it right here.
Okay, yeah. So that book, I saw that one, and that one has so many different strains. I love that idea. I'm not gonna put it out there, but the idea that you talked about, I think you should do that with the scratch and sniff. I'm just gonna say that. I'm telling you. You better do it before I feel it. You better do it before I take it. All right, look. Let's do a little word association, all right? I'm gonna say a word, you can say the first thing come to your mind. Peaches.
Ooh, trees.
Blueberry.
Health.
Jack Hare.
What? That's literally what came to my mind.
Lemons.
None.
Onions.
The base.
Tomato.
Ooh, saucy.
Maui Wowie.
Let's get down.
Black Widow.
Oh, amazing.
Gelato.
Not often.
Walnuts.
Good.
Basil.
Heavens. Heaven sent.
Popcorn.
Don't eat it.
White Fire OG.
Where's that? Can I get some?
All right.
Where's that?
Okay. Where's that? Where they at? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for joining us. Thank you so much for your testimony. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that a good Southern Baptist has been enlightened. The story of Job that you told, and your story, which followed Job, and the other part about that I love. I love when I hear about premonitions because I get them. And I always talk to my wife all the time about serendipity. Like, that's my favorite word. I always use it. But I get them so much that I say it too much, right? And she's like, she always try to act like that's like I'm not, like it's not serendipity. But I'm like, it is because it happened before it happened, right? But the fact that the Spirit told you to read Job prepared you.
Yeah.
You lost everything. And now you in your new light found again with more riches than you had previous, and the abundance that you see is bigger than what you even thought it could have been when you thought you was set already.
Right. And it's still growing. Like I haven't even reached it yet.
Not at all. This is the beginning.
It's the beginning, and I'm sitting here like, okay, this is the promise.
Yeah.
This is the promise. This is a promise that everybody was trying to keep me from. You remember that he had 3 friends that was trying to talk him out of, even his wife.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't listen to him. It's just like he didn't listen. And I'm walking into the promise.
That's it.
And I'm like, yo.
Because you listening to who you supposed to listen to. That's listen. Let's go back. Hold up. Let me go back to that. Listen. Every period has an I did another one. I didn't even see I did that one. Every period has an age. Today is recorded. I am peace. Listen.
Listen.
Be. That's the other part, right?
Yeah, just be in it. Be in the moment. Be in the present.
You ain't gotta what all the chatter is and all the days and what they saying, those 3, whoever they are, you listen and you be. And you and God got you.
Yes. Amen.
That's my word. Amen. I love it too.
Amen.
Thank
you so much. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys join us on Tuesday.
Please do, everybody. Join them on Tuesday for
Soulfully Elevated.
Soulfully Elevated. Follow Iamganjamama and go to her spa as well if you're in that area, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia.
Yes.
Tri-state area.
We take care of you. All right, take care. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you, everybody who joined us today. That was a beautiful show, beautiful lessons, beautiful testimony. That's what we're here for. So the fellowship is working the way God planned. Remember, you are God. We'll see you next week.